Welcome to Bachelor,
a podcast so educational it could be a university class.
With your hosts,
Danielle Dick McHugh,
Kim Hannah,
and Bill Henninger. Welcome everybody to Bachelor. It is episode 4, and I'm here with Kim. I'm back. What's up, Kim?
What's up? Hello, welcome back. One bean Bill.
Yes, I have one kidney now. For any of you, if you're like, he looks so different, it's because I have that one kidney missing. So
how much does a kidney weigh?
I don't know. Maybe like a pound.
Bill, you look like you've lost a pound. You look great.
I've lost quite a bit more than that, actually. So I haven't had much of an appetite. So I think last time I checked, I'm down like 13 or 14 pounds, but it's fine. Yeah. So if any of you want to lose some weight, probably not kidney donation, but it is a quick way to go about it.
It seems extreme.
It does. Yes.
Extreme. That's I think that's a worse way to lose weight than the diabetes drug that people take that shouldn't be taken for weight loss.
Yeah.
Ozempic?
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. So
yeah, don't do it.
All right. You ready for the question of the day?
Yeah.
All right. So actually, you wrote the question of the day, and I thought somebody said, I think you text me this question, right?
Maybe.
Okay.
Did I?
Well, I was like, I know someone told me to have a question. There is a question we should ask, and this was the one. So have you ever faked an injury or an illness to either get out of something or spend time with someone? What do you got?
Yeah, I'm a woman, and I think almost every girl has faked or legitimately had such terrible cramps that they used it to get out of doing something. I used to do it to get out of I had a really like screamy basketball coach in middle school. And so sometimes I would say that I was in too much pain to practice, even if I wasn't.
Yeah.
Because I didn't enjoy his coaching style.
Isn't that like the stereotype? I know this was basketball, not gym, but isn't that like the standby gym thing? Like girls are like, I have my period, I can't go to gym class today.
Well, yes and no, because it is a legitimately debilitating thing that we deal with.
Right.
But also sometimes you just don't feel like climbing a rope.
Right. And so it happens.
So then you pull it out. Sometimes people have their period like 3 weeks out of the month for real, and they need to go to a doctor. And sometimes they have it 3 weeks out of the month because that PE unit is really stupid and nobody wants to do it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I can't think of a time I've ever done this. I'm sure I have. I'm sure I've been like, I'm sick, I can't do something, and it wasn't because I was sick, it was because I just didn't want to do it. But I can't think of a really good story where it was like, I did this. I think I had a crush on our elementary school nurse, like a little kind of boy crush. And I think I probably went to the nurse as someone who's not very sick, that's sick very often. I have a feeling I went to that nurse way more than I should have.
Aww.
The only one I can think of. So.
That's adorable.
Nurse Smith. Yeah.
So. Where is she now? Is she still a nurse at the school? Did she die? Is she gone?
I don't know. I haven't kept up with Nurse Smith, and a little creepy.
Well, and it would be hard too because she has a very generic last name. You will never be able to find her.
Yeah, as you all know, I think that we're in a simulation, and so maybe like that was just the creators of the simulation really punting it. They were just like, we're gonna make a hot nurse and like remember this last name Smith.
Did she wear a hot nurse uniform or did she wear like scrubs?
No, I think she wore like normal clothes. Yeah.
Oh man, if I was a school nurse, I would wear scrubs every day because
but this is like back in the this was like back in the 90s before the scrubs were really like,
That's true. We went to school when the teachers wore hideously ugly like sweater vests and giant necklaces with wooden figurines for all the holidays.
Yeah. But if in any way make it legitimate that I could wear scrubs every day, I would, because I'm not a good dresser. I don't like clothing's not my thing. And so if I could just wear like one stock thing, clothing's not my thing, like fashion's not my thing, right? So if I could just wear scrubs every single day, boom.
Are you or are you not in administration for the new nursing program?
I'm in the school that the nursing program is going to be housed in. Yeah, maybe I should just start wearing.
So I think you should start wearing scrubs to support the nursing students. Solidarity, baby.
I love it. All right, you ready to get down to business?
Please.
Let's do it. All right, we're going to start with the Golden Bachelor. And remember, everybody, this season we are kind of talking as we go through the recap. So I've got a whole bunch of little quick hits that I have questions for Kim. We get on something good, we're going to discuss it more. First off, Trista shows up. Why is Trista on the show? What did she add?
So I didn't know who that was because I didn't watch The Bachelor from the Bachelorette from the very beginning. And then I kind of figured it out once some of the women were very excited to see her, and some of the women were like me and were like, who the hell is this person? Mm-hmm. Did they trot Trista out every once in a while because she is the only successful bachelorette?
No, they don't. Not as much as you would think, considering how bad of a track record they have. Like you'd think she'd be the poster child, but no.
Yeah. I think that she, maybe because she was one of the earlier ones, she's closer in age now to some of the Golden Bachelorettes than to the current Bachelorettes. So they would listen to her more, maybe because she's closer to their age and more like a child, more like an older child than a younger child to them.
Yeah, I just feel like it's such a different audience. Most of them have already been married. They don't need to be convinced that like true love happens. True. I feel like on the regular Bachelor, they're like, look you could get this. It can really happen. And these people are like, I have already had one,
Maybe she was the only one free.
Maybe. I don't know.
Does she have kids?
Yeah, I think they have like 2, maybe 3.
Okay. Maybe the kids were at summer camp and she's like, I'm bored, let's do this.
Is that when they probably filmed it during the summer, right?
I don't know when they filmed it, but yeah.
I haven't been paying attention to what they're wearing while they're doing stuff.
They're wearing Southern California stuff, so it's hard to tell. They haven't traveled, so they're just in like whatever in like Southern California world.
Freaking Southern California. All right, pickleball, faking an injury. Deviously brilliant or dirty pool?
Well, it didn't work for her, but I loved it. I mean, he immediately ran over to make sure she was okay. All the other ladies ran over to make sure she was okay. April's always kind of a little bit of a wild child on the show, so it tracked that it was her that pulled that. Like, it wouldn't have, Ellen would never, ever take an injury. Are you kidding me? Okay. Susan would be giving herself away if she tried to give herself an injury. So I say go for it. Get in, get dirty. She's probably not an athlete, so she knew if she wanted to get extra attention, she'd need to do this, and it worked.
I think all things fair in Bachelor. Like they're always like, that's not how it goes. It's like, listen, there is no rules, there are no handbooks. Here's what I want to know. She is the person who had the walking boot on and then said she stress fractured her leg, right?
No, that was Nancy.
Okay, that makes more sense for me. All right.
Yeah.
I got it now. Yeah. Any thoughts about the pickleball date?
Well, that's the first time I've ever seen pickleball in action because I am not a pickleball person and I've chosen not to let it rule my life. And it looks like everybody says it's like a really good sport for people who maybe are of the older persuasion because you don't have to run around so much. But that looked like a hardcore tennis meet. I mean, those ladies were running all over the court. I did love that we had our resident tennis pro, Joey, the next Bachelor, show up and be amazed at how great all these athletes were. I'm like, duh, they're not dead. They're rocking and rolling. But yeah, I loved the names. I loved that they had matching uniforms. Way to go, costume department, and how fast you whipped those bad boys up. I loved some of the pairings. I thought the pairings were very interesting. And I was a little afraid that, because I think of the ladies who were playing, I think Kathy and Ellen are probably the most intense, and they
Yes.
were teammates, which is probably very smart, because I feel like if they were playing against each other, there would have been real injuries.
But had they lost, I bet they would have turned on each other quick.
Oh,
I feel like
Ellen wasn't gonna lose. Are you kidding me?
I feel like
There's no way
Ellen
Ellen is gonna lose pickleball on national television.
I feel like Ellen has teammate yelling at other people vibes. Like once she starts to lose, she loses her mind. Also, does Joey actually, is he qualified to be an expert in pick just because he knows tennis? That's what I was like.
I don't think so. I didn't hear pickleball pro in his profile last year. Maybe, okay, I'm gonna go off on my tangent on tennis pros again, but maybe in Hawaii, because of how people vacation there of all ages, maybe if you're a tennis pro, you also get certified or whatever in pickleball proing. So he is legitimately a pickleball pro also.
There's a very
Teaching
good
ladies.
there's a very good Instagram reel of this guy who's saying that he's a tennis pro or a pickleball pro. And it's like he's like telling people stuff. He keeps turning to the camera. He's like, "This is a made-up sport." Like, it's like they'd be like, "You got to smash whack," and they're like, "I made that term up."
Yeah. Well, they were talking about some of the terms, and I'm like, that's not a word. Like, how is, I don't, this sport, I don't know. I don't know.
All right. So then Teresa and Kathy continue to snipe at each other. Who do you think's the villain here? I also feel like
America.
I always feel like Kathy could be on the grandmas of New Jersey, the real grandmas of New Jersey.
I truly think that Teresa is absolutely oblivious to how annoying she is.
Yeah.
She's just the type of person that always has to like share what's going on in her life and talk about her kids and do this and do that. And everyone is annoyed by it, but everyone else is too nice to say anything. And Kathy gives zero fucks. She's reached the age where there is no filter. And also, I think she's kind of terrifying. Like, I have had to deal with people like Kathy when I
Yes.
worked in a grocery store, and they scared me. And so I'm a little afraid of Kathy because she's giving me like a visceral reaction to some things I had to deal with in high school and college, checking out a certain type of lady.
See, Teresa didn't really bother me. I felt like she was just being excited, but I agree
Yeah.
with you on Kathy. I think she is like one of those people who doesn't even realize how demonstrative she's being, and
Yeah.
she's at you. And yeah. So, what do you think
She's
about
telling you this, she's just telling you her truth.
her truth?
But the way she's delivering it is super intense and mean.
Yep.
Always.
Yes, exactly. Thoughts on Gary's handling of the situation?
I'm gonna be real honest with you, Bill.
Yeah.
I don't really remember.
I think he sat Kathy down and kind of was like not happy with the way she did it.
Okay.
And
Okay,
he was
good.
just kind of like, you know, I gave you a rose, blah, blah, blah. And I think in the end, that's why she didn't get the rose. So,
Yeah. Well, good for him for talking about it and being like, I think Teresa might be endgame.
yeah.
And or at least one of the top like 2 or 3. And so I think that he is already kind of in protective mode around
Oh,
her.
see, I think Leslie segueing, look at that segue, boom. Leslie, who got the ATV, I think she's endgame
Yeah,
for Gary. I keep wanting to say Gerry as I read his name.
I know.
Um,
It's stupid. I don't like how people I don't like how people spell their names on this show, but
what
it's
do you
fine, I
what do you
guess.
think about the ATV date?
Okay, so I'm always up for an adventure and I like stuff, but anything involving a fast car with no real safety features,
Mhm.
I would not have enjoyed the ATV date because I would have been stressed that we were going to flip and I was going to get decapitated the entire time. I would go snowmobiling. I would do a racetrack simulator. I'm not sure I would do a race car because again, I have a slight fear of car accident, decapitation, weird. But I don't know. I don't think I would have enjoyed it. And did she enjoy it?
Yeah, I felt like she was doing her best to enjoy it. Like, I think she really likes him and he really likes
Yeah.
her, but I don't think she really enjoyed it. I think it's like that date where you're really into a person and they plan something and it's something they really like. And so you kind of are like, oh, this is fun. But in your mind, you're like, I hope I don't have to do this all the time.
That's a really good question of the day, part 2. Have you ever had to participate in a date doing an activity that you did not enjoy, but the other person was super into it, so you just did it and faked it? Because I have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In high school, I dated this girl that was really into FFA, and she was like, let's go to the state fair together. So her mom drove us to the state fair. So I was like, okay, like we're gonna go to the Midway. She's like, no, we don't go to the Midway. And we just sat and watched the cow show for like 4 hours. And I was like asking her what all they're doing, because they have that stick, they move their feet, and she was like, shh, she's like shushing me. And so then I had or her little brother had won this yardstick. So I had it and I was like hitting her feet with it, like move your feet, like show you. We broke up after that.
So weird that annoyed her.
Yeah, that I was
I
trying
the
to
hell
be.
out of it.
At that point, I was like, we are totally different ilks here.
I thought you were gonna say you hated the state fair, and if you say that, it will hurt my heart a little bit because
Oh, I
I
do.
love the state fair.
Oh, I hate
Oh
it.
my God! All right.
Anyone at the university will tell you there is a call every year for people to go work, and I'm like, I will do anything for this university. That is the bridge to I will not go to the state fair. It is
I always volunteered for the UNI booth so that I could get a free fair ticket because I'm cheap, and I would get another free UNI shirt by doing it. And I'm cheap and I love free stuff.
There is not enough free tickets to get me to willingly go to that state fair.
What if it's a really good concert?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Well, my boring date that I had to pretend I enjoyed was what's the thing? Excuse me. What's the thing where you throw the frisbee and it goes into like the bucket of netting?
Yeah,
Disc golf?
Frisbee golf to the layman.
Yeah, I had to do that once. We did not get married.
I
didn't.
Like golfing is fun.
I didn't like it. I was not a fan of it. But
I can see how that
did
it.
He took it very seriously, and I was like, what if we just went somewhere and made out instead? But oh well.
Yeah, so the frolfing is fun if you're like drinking beers and you're not taking it serious. Like the people who are like, this is a 150-yard back nine, you're gonna want your, it's like
he brought his own frisbees.
Oh, well, you
kept them in a bag in his trunk.
You have to bring your own frisbees. They don't just have them like.
Oh,
you got to at least bring one or two.
He had a lot of them.
The guys who've got like the 17, it's like, nah, that's not it. All right,
we did.
Gerry has a tattoo.
Yes. I mean, first of all, I love a good hot tub in the middle of nowhere date, and then we see his lion face tattoo, and I was like, stop the entire show. I need to know the story behind the entire lion face on his upper arm.
I feel like we can't be the only people. Like everyone in America had to have seen that and been like, because he kind of puts off this Mr. Rogers vibe, and I feel like everyone was like, whoa, shoot, Gerry.
Yeah. And it's not even was he in Vietnam? Was he in the military? I feel like he would have mentioned that by now. So it's not even like a military tattoo. It's like a whole lion. And lots of lions are native to northern Indiana. So I want to know more details about this lion tattoo.
I had for every time I had to look. I see a lion, and I'm like, which one of the Indiana lions is that?
God, right? Well, and I was like, what's his birthday? Is his horoscope Leo? Is he a closeted like huge into his astrology guy? Like there's so many more interesting things we could find out about him now that I know he has an arm tattoo.
Yeah, that was definitely the highlight of my night. Was
Yeah.
the
I
of all the
texted you.
shows, seeing
I
the
was
two.
like,
Yes,
Gerry has a tattoo.
yes. And I think I was off painkillers at that moment, but there was a part of me that's like, am I having like a residual painkiller thing? Is this like that Gerry has a tattoo?
No, I saw it too, and I'm not on any painkillers. And
Speaking
I was mostly recovered from my weekend by the time I was watching it last night too.
speaking of fun games on painkillers, never have I ever. What did you think of
Yeah.
it?
I freaking love Never Have I Ever.
Really?
I like to play it with adults, not with ice cream.
Uh-huh.
And when I was when I was a high school youth group leader, when I was in college, we used to play Never Have I Ever. And then you'd have to like switch seats because
Oh,
it's obviously not a drinking game when you're working with high school students in a church, at least at the church I went to.
like
So
never have I
we
ever
would
prayed more than 3 times, or like what was
no,
the
we
deal?
always had to tell the kids, like, remember, keep it PG-13.
This is why.
Because some of them would get downright, because they know each other, and then they'd start, it was like, never have I ever, blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
And then they'd look right at the person, and you're like, hey, hey,
yeah.
hey, no targeting, no targeting. But
We've
yeah, it's super fun. I love Never Have I Ever.
we've done
And
that a
I
lot.
love, well, go ahead.
Oh, we've done that a lot while we're drinking. You like
Oh,
you
no, yeah, it's great when you're drinking.
never have I ever. Yeah.
I loved Susan when they were like, never have I ever kissed another woman. And she's like,
Yeah.
big old bite. Freaking
Sure.
love Susan. Susan. And again, Kathy is so boring. She's like, I've never done anything.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. She just, yeah,
Has she been married before?
I think so. I thought she said
Maybe Gary's the first man she's ever dated, and that's why she's not handling it very well.
yeah. All right.
Because they were pretty mild. I mean, they were pretty tame, never have I ever's.
Yeah, they weren't getting into the real dirty stuff.
I know. And
Excellent
I love
call.
that Sandra was like, yep, done it all. Done it all. And then my favorite thing, she's like, I'm lactose intolerant. And she's eating all this ice cream. And then she's sick the next day
Yeah, the
because she's
cocktail,
lactose intolerant. She had a pint of ice cream. It's
the
like,
cocktail
Sandra.
party. She's laying in the bunk bed.
Yeah. Girl,
Oh,
I have been there. It is not a pleasant place to be.
she
But
is.
yeah, it was awesome.
I don't think she is gonna win. I don't think she's long for the show, but she's my
No,
favorite.
but I love her.
Yeah, she's my favorite person right now on the show. All right.
Also, she missed her daughter's wedding to be on The Bachelor, Golden Bachelor.
I
Did
appreciate
you
it.
catch that?
Yeah, yeah. She said like I didn't miss my daughter's wedding. I was like, good for you.
I mean, weddings are boring. I support you not being there. Like, I'll be at any reception, but the ceremonies themselves are super dull.
Yeah, yeah. I always think it's funny when somebody's like, I just want to let you know we're not going to invite you to the ceremony, but you can come to the reception. And it's like, you're acting like I'm gonna be like angry. Like this
That is what I want. That
yeah.
is the best case scenario, especially if you have an open bar and a DJ, because I will be on that dance floor the minute we are cleared to join the wedding party, and I will be there until the night is over.
Buffet style food instead of giving me either chicken or
Right? Oh, we always go to like Texas Roadhouse or something between the wedding and the reception because I usually can't eat at a wedding reception, so I go and eat steak somewhere so I can soak up as much booze as possible.
Yeah. So the cocktail party happens. Nancy self-eliminates. I thought that was nice on all ends. She's
not going to go very far.
Kathy and April go home. I'm actually bummed Kathy didn't stay longer. I feel like she had good villain potential. I feel like she probably could have stirred the pot. I feel like lots of people would have rubbed her the wrong way.
Who do you think the new pot stirrer is going to be?
I don't know. I don't know their names very well. I don't feel like there's anyone. Do you have someone?
I think Susan will either do it for fun
Mm,
because she enjoys. I think she's got a little bit of a scamp in her.
yeah.
Or I think Leslie might go a little Mean Girls.
Okay. I could see that.
I'm just guessing.
Nice.
Because someone has to take over the Chaos Queen crown now that Kathy's gone.
Yes. Calling people out for sharing too much.
Yeah.
All right.
They're almost to the hometowns, though.
Yeah,
I
that
think,
was when they said that, we were like counting. And
like this week, like this week's episode is going to be the one that determines who gets the hometowns.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
Maybe he really does just stop. He's just like, I'm out. You know, they showed it like he was gonna, and they do that every time. But
Yeah.
Gary's at like peak fuck it in his life, and he's like, nah, really, I'm out. Like,
I mean, maybe. We'll find out.
All right. Bachelor in Paradise. Let's start out. Sam can't poop. Unlike Kelsey, I don't mind toilet talk. So let's system. Yes, that was a pun.
So again, what are they doing to help her go to the bathroom? Because there are several options available. Just, I mean, honestly, just have her drink the tap water. Wouldn't that get stuff moving?
I think so. Elaine is army crawling on the floor to get a pair of socks. I'm in a room. You can see her blurry outline. She army crawled across the floor. I was like, what is that noise?
For me, like flexibility training.
All right. So the only thing I can think about this is that she must have not wanted to do several other things other than going to the hospital. But then they did say it was like 3 days later and she still hadn't pooped. And so it's like, man, she must be really like, I would be worried she's got like a bowel obstruction.
Yeah. Which, if they have let her go 12 days without checking,
yeah,
that's not good either.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt bad for her because, like I said last week, girl, I have been there. It is not pleasant.
Yeah.
But I did appreciate how everyone was just like, man, that sucks, and rallied around her, and nobody was making fun of her, and nobody was being mean about it.
Nothing brings a group together like prolonged constipation. That's
group food poisoning.
Yes. Yeah, the misery of group food poisoning. So then John Henry shows up. He takes Olivia on a date. Olivia took Peter on a sidebar because she was very like what was it? Will didn't do that for her. So
Yeah.
I thought that was nice.
Okay, here's my thing about Peter.
Yeah.
And Olivia. I think they're both just using each other to keep going on the show. I don't think there are actual feelings with either one of them.
Yeah.
And now Olivia has the rose. So now Peter is like, wait a minute. I could go home if she likes John Henry. But John Henry is like interesting and he has a cool job and he's pretty attractive. So I was like, Olivia, stick with John Henry. He does underwater.
Yeah, which apparently is really dangerous, right? Because you got an oxygen tank strapped to you.
And like fire, I think. I don't know how underwater welding works, but
yeah, I would assume.
I know that above ground welding involves very hot things.
It's electricity, isn't it? I think welding's electricity. And so I guess
water and electricity seems like a really good combination.
Yeah,
and then you throw in sharks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I felt like Peter just out of nowhere was like, he was kind of like, oh yeah, this is cool, go explore. And then all of a sudden he was like, I am angry. We'll talk about that in a minute. I'm being overrun by pets.
Sweet.
Just like 12 pets walked in here.
Did you get more?
Yeah. Yeah. Every once in a while I come home and I was like, wow, we just got another pet.
Another dog today.
So we're pro Olivia and John Henry, right?
I'm pro John Henry. I'm skeptical about Olivia, but I need John Henry to stick around. So I'm pro John Henry and Olivia until after the rose ceremony.
Olivia really rubs me the wrong way for some reason. Just something about her. She bothers me.
But I will say she adds fun to the
Mhm.
island because she brings chaos. And I love a chaos queen on the island.
Well, you need that. Like, what's the point of Bachelor in Paradise if you're not fighting?
Yeah.
So then
The
John
other
B.
chaos queen is Aaron. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine. John B shows up. He takes Eliza on a date, and Aaron B is shooketh. He is just crying. 1 second.
So John is one of my Bachelor crushes. So I was
Okay.
very excited to see him there.
Yes, I thought
I
when he walked out, I said to Elaine, I was like, I think he's one of Kim's people that she's been like, yeah.
Yeah, he's one that I wanted to see there.
Yeah.
I think he should have taken Mercedes because I'm all in on Iowa sticking around as long as possible because I think Eliza's gonna stick with Aaron Aaron Fuji. I'm gonna call him Aaron Fuji, and then John's gonna have to go home again, and that makes me very sad.
So do you think John and Mercedes are a good match?
Absolutely not, but I want him to get a rose so that he can stick around to the next
Totally
round.
fair. I'm cool with that. I just wanted to make sure I understood. Yeah.
Who's Mercedes with right now?
What?
Who's Mercedes with right now?
With Will?
No, she was with Will, and she was Tyler. Tyler.
Oh, yep.
She was dead-eyed with Will so she could get a rose, and then Tyler showed up, and she was like, "Yeah, let's do this." So
yeah, I like it. Yeah, I'm with you. I think Aaron B and Eliza are going to stick together, but I think it's going to be like a constant, like next person comes out, picks one of them.
I think, and here's what I'm going to say because I'm not a big fan of Aaron B.
Mhm.
I think that when a woman comes down and she picks him, he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah," and then he's gonna drop Eliza, and then she missed out, and we all missed out on John, and I will be angry.
And that's where Tyler's whole thing about tennis came in. His like analogy about tennis, which didn't make any sense to me. I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think what he was trying to say is you can't just date somebody else to make that person feel bad because they dated somebody.
Right.
That's what he was trying to say, but it was just really confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also felt like he spoke up after the girl left Aaron. I felt like it was kind of a douchey, masculine, like, how dare she leave Aaron? But then Aaron can go explore.
Yep.
Yep.
Patriarchy. Pass.
That's it. Thoughts on the truth box?
I loved it. I loved every part of it. I think they should do it every week.
It was everything that they wanted Hannah B's stupid little thing to be. It was like the like just stir in the pot, I didn't understand why Peter smashed it. And Wells seemed
It wasn't Peter, it was Aaron, and he was like, let's make this magic happen, and let's open up, because Wells was just going to do a couple at a time.
Oh,
and
yeah,
Aaron was like, oh no, we're doing all of this.
Yes, it was the guy that was with Sam.
Yeah, that's Aaron S.
Okay, yes, that makes sense. But he looks kind of like, but
yeah, they all look the same.
Wells seemed legitimately pissed that he broke his
I think he made the box. I think he was really sad about it.
Yeah. So then in all of this, Braden decides that he needs to tell, who is it? Rachel Nicole, that Sean is not that into her because Sean decides he needs to talk. Okay, I'm going to get the story right. Sean decides he needs to tell, who was it that he needed to tell?
So Sean and Rachel Nicole were together. And then in the box, there were several things that said, like, Braden and Rachel should go make out. Braden and Rachel should kiss.
Right.
And then something happened where Rachel said something to Sean, or Sean said something to Rachel that they weren't actually really interested in each other. And then Sean said something stupid like, I can't believe she's dissing me. I look like Ken. And I want to say again, for the 45,000th time, no, you don't. Stop trying to be part of Barbenheimer. You don't look like Ken. And Ugh.
He
So
looks
yeah,
like
so
Lord
then
Farquaad from
he
Shrek.
does. He looks like Lord Far. He looks like a blonde Lord Farquaad. So
Yeah.
then, Brayden and Rachel leave, and they do make out, and they seem to really like it. And then Sean is really upset because now he's like, "Well, now I'm not going to get the rose." And then didn't he pull Jess to talk to? And Jess was like, I'm not into you.
Yes. So
And then he was like appalled that someone wasn't into him.
So he pulled Jess
Yeah.
before the Brayden and Rachel Nicole thing happened.
Okay.
And then she shot him down.
Yeah.
And then Brayden told Rachel Nicole that. And then Sean went back to her and remember he gave her that really weird explanation. He's like, I'm just all in on you. You know, I was just exploring for a second, but it's always been you. And she's like, nah, I'm out. And that's how Brayden.
That's right. That's right.
And I agree. I feel like Rachel and Brayden are a similar level of chaos.
I love it. Yeah. They have the same maturity level. I love it. I love that coupling. I say go for it. Make weird babies.
Yep. I love it. So then Kat somehow loses her mind. Like, what did she like? Because she kept saying she didn't blindside Brayden.
So there were several things in the box of chaos that accused her of different things.
Okay.
And she lost her ever loving mind over it. Yes. To the point where I wanted to go to Mexico and say, do you ever want to get a real job ever again in your entire life? Because all we've seen from you is you throwing these epic temper tantrums. And I don't think some of that is like producer edited. I mean, that is her losing her mind.
Oh, yeah. She's got some anger problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I would not hire her.
Yeah. And so then basically it ends on a cliffhanger and we still haven't had a rose. We haven't had a rose, like the first rose ceremony, and that's
first
it, right?
Episode, I think. So, and there are going to be 2 ladies that come down next week. Who do you think they are? Because the guy seems super excited about it.
Yeah. Didn't they show one? I thought they showed. I don't know. I don't remember names. I got a probably a blonde-haired girl that's young and impressionable.
I'm gonna guess she's blonde, 5'6", and wears a bikini.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Lessons learned.
I learned that Gerry has a tattoo, and I'm super excited about that. Right. I want to know how many of the golden ladies have tattoos.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Are you pro? You have tattoos.
I have a tattoo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pro tattoo as long as it's not offensive. To women or to other cultures. Or is stupid.
What? Give us an example.
And I base it solely on if I think it's stupid.
Okay, so give us an example of a tattoo you've seen and you've been like, that's stupid.
Like if it's a cartoon character, I think cartoon character tattoos are kind of silly.
All cartoon characters?
Like if it's like, I don't want to offend anybody. Like a Woody Woodpecker tattoo or something. I think is silly. Or if you're like a Disney adult, I think that Disney adults scare me. So if you have like a big old like Disney like Mickey Mouse tattoo on your leg or something, I don't think I mean if I like subtle or a really cool arm sleeve. Which is not subtle. But I don't want anything like on the face or like Peter Pan or something.
Elaine and I were watching Naked Attraction on HBO, which if you have not watched Naked Attraction on HBO,
I'm obsessed with that show.
It is amazing. But there was this girl on there, she's beautiful, but she's got like the neck, the tattoo up to here. And then it was like, I gotta imagine at some point people with those tattoos regret them. Maybe they don't.
Well, I just think how painful getting a neck tattoo would be.
Yes.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of really important parts right there. So I'd be very worried that like my throat would get like punctured or something, or it would just hurt really, really bad.
Yeah, I feel like generally the important parts have a pretty good pain receptor on them to let you know that they're getting hit, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Mine is on my back and it didn't hurt getting it, but it hurt the day after because I was trying on bridesmaids dresses and the sadist at the bridal shop was like zipping and like pressing it really tight so we could get an idea of what they would look like, because you don't try on a dress that's actually your size, you try on a dress that's bigger and then they like squeeze you into it, and I was like fighting screaming a couple of times because the associate was brutal with the clips because
I've
it's
watched,
on my upper back, so
I've
it's
watched
like right where the zipper like ends on most dresses.
I've watched Say Yes to the Dress. I know how they do it.
Oh, thank you. Well, that was for those that don't watch Say Yes to the
Yes.
Dress.
Yeah. I learned that nothing brings a group together like food poisoning or group or constipation. So if you're ever in a group and you need to make a friend, food poison them or disclose raging constipation, and you've made friends for life.
You know, and as someone who deals with both of those, that is absolutely true.
Yeah. Well, it definitely, if you've ever been really constipated, it like makes you feel for a person. Or if you've ever had food poisoning, you're like, oh, buddy, sorry.
When once you've lain on the floor of a hotel bathroom sweating because something you thought was safe was not safe and you're trying not to die, that's a bonding moment that everyone can appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah. Solidarity. City shout out, Seattle, Washington. Two of our favorite former students, Elaine and I's, Paul Peace and Carly Spees are now there. If you've never been there, it is a wonderful city. You can take a subway or a tram from the airport to downtown, see the fish market, go see
Space
lots.
Needle.
What?
The Space Needle's really neat too.
Space Needle, yep. And also you can get to one of my favorite places, the Backpack, which is the why am I blanking on it?
Mount Rainier.
Nope, not Mount Rainier, but you can see Mount Rainier from Seattle.
Olympia.
Olympia, yeah. National Park. You can get there in about 2.5, 3 hours, and it's a wonderful place. So.
There's also amazing seafood available to eat in Seattle, Washington, if you like seafood. Some of the best oysters of my life were eaten in Seattle, Washington.
I had oysters when I was there too. It was and fish and chips. I went on a whole fishcapade. That's right.
Yeah.
I went fishcapade. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm looking to see if we have the list of famous people. I believe Jimi Hendrix is from there.
Isn't Joel McHale from Seattle?
Famous people. I think so.
Everyone who's played for the Supersonics is from Seattle, part of the time. Russell Wilson.
Yes.
Russell Wilson with the Seattle football team, whose name is
from the. You gotta be born there. You gotta.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
Ready? You want some? Some
Please.
famous people? All right. Rainn Wilson, Bill Gates, Jimi Hendrix, Bruce Lee resided there. Macklemore.
Who? Bruce Lee?
Yeah. Macklemore.
Nice. Ooh.
Sir Mix-a-Lot, Kurt Cobain,
Nice.
Bing Crosby, Bill Nye, the science guy,
Bill.
and Joe McHale. You were correct on Joe McHale. So, and Kenny G. Oh my God, they have so many famous people.
Yeah, Kenny G is
amazing.
Musician.
You got jazz. All right.
I don't love the saxophone, but I can appreciate a good musician and beautiful, beautiful hair.
That is a hot take. Who doesn't like the saxophone? Connie Hansen one time said she didn't like the violin, and I was like,
I don't agree with her on that. Because you can have a beautiful.
Yeah.
The problem is, if you are not a good saxophonist, Similarly to if you're not a very good clarinetist, it sounds like cats being murdered in a bathtub.
Yeah, or a violin.
Yeah, that like early childhood violin practices are pretty brutal too.
Yeah, take up the trumpet.
Stick with the French horn. I just played whole notes for like 7 years, basically.
Nice.
Super easy.
You
All right,
learned-
Bill.
All right. Well,
I'm so glad you're back.
I'm glad I'm back too. Thanks for hosting with me. Everyone have a good weekend. And then next week, is it the power foursome again?
I think it's the ladies who let me check the schedule. I wish words worked because I sometimes can speak
I
the
appreciate
Lord's
the
English.
work you put into that schedule and how we have yet to actually follow this.
I know. No, yeah. So next week is the 4 ladies again.
Woman power. Nice.
Women sisters doing it for themselves.
Elaine
So all
has,
4 of us will be back. And Elaine wants to do the show flow, so I'm gonna let her.
yes, she is like into this, so it's gonna be good. I will try to army crawl across the floor while she's recording. So yeah. Cool.
Solid.
All right. Bye, America.
Bye.
Parts other than America.
You have been listening to Bachelormania with your hosts, Danielle Dick McGee, Kim Hanna,
And Bill Hennig.
All thoughts and opinions expressed on the show are solely those of the person who spoke them.
If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe to the show, leaving a 5-star rating and review wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Also, please share with your family, friends, colleagues, and other ardent Bachelor fans.
If you have comments or questions you would like us to address on the show, you can email us at bachelormania@gmail.com.
Or on the Twitter with the handle @Bachelormania.
Thanks for listening.